Hello, I'm Rico Cavella. Welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging, where in every episode, my guests and we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive impact in the world. Now, before I introduce today's show and our expert guest, I have a quick question for you. If you've been wondering how well you are aging, well, I have the solution for you. You can go to my main website, agelessliving.lifestyle.com, take our free aging assessment, and if you don't like the results, you can book a free call with me, and we'll discuss what challenges you're having, and I'll give you some quick and easy tips to get you going on the right track. So, the title of today's episode is The Keys to Effortless Fat Release, even if you're over 40. Now, this is such an important topic, and we're going to get into that. There's just so many things that you really need to know about this. So this is going to be a great episode. So our expert guest, her name is Jen Beck. She's a true expert in mind-body transformation. She has dedicated her career to helping high-achieving professionals reclaim their energy, break free from self-sabotage, and create a life they love. She is the founder and CEO of Complete Health Revolution, a best-selling author, and the creator of the powerful Transform program. She has over 20 years of experience in holistic wellness, nutrition, emotional healing, and she has empowered thousands to step in their healthiest, most vibrant self. So, Jen Beck, thanks so much for being here.
Rico, thank you for having me. It's so good to be here with you.
Yeah, it's good to connect again. Yeah, we've been done some things in the past together and been friends, and it's so nice to see you again. Well, let's start. Let's start. I like to always start just briefly talk a little bit about your story. You know how you got started in this whole wellness movement, and why you think it's so important.
Yeah, I think back to where I came from. I was in my mid-20s and I was living on sugar, fast food, and caffeine just to get through the day. And I had one of those wake-up call moments. My mom, at the age of 49, went from living on her own to being in a nursing home within 6 weeks.
Oh.
She had had multiple sclerosis my entire life and had been on all the preventative medications. And this was the result. And I went, well, obviously the doctors don't know what they're doing and the drugs aren't working. So I went looking for ways to help her. And I remember meeting a pharmacist who was talking about the healing benefits of superfoods, which back in the late 90s was weird. I mean, multivitamins were weird back then. And his wife had had MS for 26 years, same amount of time as my mom. And I got a chance to meet her, and I asked her what drugs that she was on because her results were so much better. I figured my mom needed to be on whatever she was on.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband, the pharmacist, would know what the answer was. And she just looked at me confused. She's like, well, I'm not on any medications.
That's so cool.
My husband didn't believe in them. And so through further dialogue, she just told me that, all she did was diet, supplements, and exercise to keep her body healthy instead of waiting for the disease to progress or relying on medications to try and fix it.
Right.
So that's what prompted me to go back to school for nutrition. We were able to get my mom out of the nursing home into a group home. And she passed just before her 65th, but her doctors and nurses that took care of her said that because of the changes that we made with her nutrition and her lifestyle, that she lived an extra 5, if not 10 years because of that. And we tremendously improved the quality of her life while she was alive.
Yeah, that's a good story. And that's what it's about. That's an important thing to let people know about. It's not so much lifespan; it's your health span. As long as you're alive, how long can you stay healthy and alive and enjoy your life? We never know how long we're going to live. But as long as we're alive, we want to be healthy and energetic and be able to enjoy our life and do something of value, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great story. And I just love to have people understand that no matter where you're at, you can make a big transformation. You can make a big shift. And so I think even though mostly you're going to talk about effortless fat release, which is vitally important, but it's really about, as you say, it's really about transforming how you think about your life and your health, and it's a whole mind-body situation. Really, it's not just about one isolated thing. But before we do that, I know you have some great gifts for our audience. So I urge you to stay till the end. And so Jen, tell us about what you have there that they can get free on your website.
Yeah, so I have 5 sweet treats. I'm a huge believer that you get to have your cake and your waistline too. You get to enjoy
That's a good one.
and to be able to make sure that you maintain your health. So I've got
Hmm.
5 sweet treats, and these include things like chocolate chip cookies or a coffee cake for, Sunday morning. And so you get to enjoy life. It's not that you have to give up everything to be
Yeah,
able to take care of your health. But if you don't prioritize your health, then eventually you're going to give up your life, not just your food.
that's so good. I really like that. I'm going to go there for sure because I want to. I want to see about the chocolate chip cookie that what you got there. That's a really good one. That's so good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, well, I do want to start off. 'Cause I think this is an important message, and so because your example of really what people need to connect with and get their life in order because the weight loss industry, as you know, become something like almost $400 billion a year industry, and yet America's the fattest country in the world, right? And I just saw recently it keeps getting worse. Like they just said now, 70% of Americans are overweight, and with almost 40% of those considered obese. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So we got to turn this around. But here's the point: is that if all these weight loss, foods and powders and pills and drugs and all these things were working, then we would be a nation of nice, healthy, slim people. The whole concept of losing weight and some kind of a diet or some kind of a food or some kind of a drug, and you got to do what Jen has to offer. So let's talk about that. How you came up with a program that's really going to make the difference and something that can get people lasting health and lose that excess body fat.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't come in one day. I mean, I've been coaching and teaching now for over 23 years. And so the modalities and the methods I use today really have come through my education, from coaching, from experience, and seeing what really works for thousands and thousands of people around the world for the last 20 plus years. And in my opinion, there is no plan, there is no program, there is no quick fix that A, creates lasting results, or B, is one size fits all.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that we are missing is something that is bigger than just the weight. To your point, if we focus on losing weight, we can lose it. But a lot of times, I mean, we're looking at some of the drugs. We're not just losing fat, we're losing muscle too. If we don't fix what happens here and we only change what happens here, we're going to end up on the yo-yo all over again. If you look at the healthiest countries in the world, they don't do any of the diets and plans and shakes and programs and pills and stuff like that we do. We as Americans are some of the, to your point, the least healthy, and especially our kids.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, 50% of our kids now are overweight. It's a startling statistic. I have a 9-year-old, and I think about when I was a kid, we had like one fat kid in the class.
Yeah.
And now it's half of the kids in the class.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. So we've got to really look at what are the foundational pieces of creating lasting health. And when we focus on creating optimal health and optimal wellness, the weight melts away. There are 20 reasons why we carry extra weight, and only one of them is excess calories, right? So the whole idea of work out more than you eat is a really old concept. But
Exactly.
there are 12 physical reasons we carry extra weight, and there's another 8 emotional reasons that we carry extra weight. So if we're not addressing the root cause of why the weight is there in the first place, why the fat built up in the first place, we're going to end up on the same roller coaster and the same cycle we've always been.
Yeah, that's well said. Well, how you mentioned that. So let's get into that. Let's start with some of the main emotional things that people have to understand that's really the root cause, and then what they can do about how they can make that transformation.
Yeah. So I'll say that one of the most important things that we can have as a foundation is to create a vision of something that weight or the fat release, the better health is going to get us. So often we're playing a game of chutes and ladders where we go, all right, so I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to no more calories, no more sugar, no more carbs, no more alcohol. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to be in bed by 10. I'm going to do meditation. I'm going to deep breathe. I'm going to do it all so that I can get to this result. And then we get there and we go, whew, thank God I never have to do that again. And we go, and that's where the shoot comes in, because we go, woo, all the way back down to our default ways of being, because we can only sustain that level of intense change for a short amount of time. And so instead of just looking at how much fat did I lose, what's the number on the scale, how do my clothes fit, let's look at building a life that we love and having the health to support that. Yeah. So go ahead.
I just want to say what you said. That's exactly why diets don't work, because you can't sustain that extreme way of eating or exercising.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, it's unsustainable. So we create a reason to have better life. Whether it's when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, you want to be able to carry your own luggage, or you want to stay independent the rest of your life, or you want to chase after your grandkids. I mean, I look at my daughter, I'm going to be in my 60s by the time she graduates high school. So if I want to meet my grandkids, I better take some care of myself, because otherwise I'm going to be sitting in a wheelchair instead of taking care of them and chasing after them. Yeah. So it's really about, what do you want to create, whether that's, traveling or hiking or, exploring the world and living your best life. Mm-hmm. It's about having that vision first. Then it's a matter of creating the physical and emotional wellness, the optimal wellness in both of those areas, so that we can do all the things that we want to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, let me ask you, why do you think people struggle with it so much? Why are we kind of caught in that situation of people? I guess a lot of it is that people are just so distracted by so much stuff that's out there that they never really take the time to slow down and really think, what's truly important in my life? What's really do I want to accomplish? How do I want my life to be? And then what do I need to do in order to achieve that life? But I guess people are just so distracted. Why do you think that is?
I think there is a big distraction. I mean, I look at social media and the, all of the technology and stuff that we have, but there's a reason why we turn to that. And I think a huge piece of that is that we are looking for dopamine, and we have been conditioned to be a human doing versus a human being. Mm-hmm. There are so many people I work with now that they have been conditioned to go out and work as hard as they possibly can and create as much achievement and as much accomplishment as they can. And so we get into this mode of, the more I have, the more money I make, the better I look. We've gotten away from, getting out into nature and being with our family. I mean, the amount of kids that you see at a restaurant, I was walking into Costco the other day, and there's two kids, each one of them, one had a tablet and the other one had a phone. And they're walking through the store, right? We are just conditioned to disconnect. And we have been conditioned to believe that food is love, entertainment, comfort, a boredom filler, a distraction, a reward, whatever that looks like. And so we've got all these mental and emotional conditioning and these root causes, not to mention the other emotions that we numb, or that we kind of comfort with food and alcohol and, excess working and things like that. But we're not being present in our own bodies, and we've been conditioned to do everything but feel an emotion, be present in an emotion and things like that. Yeah,
so well said. Don't you think it's also, I think it's one big problem is most people are not living purposely. They're not living on purpose. They're not really clear on what their life should be about, and what's it really, like I say, what's true value they have and what's really important. And we're just not taught that, So I think, what I found with my clients working with so many years, the reason that people don't, make their health a priority and stick with a healthy eating or exercise program, because they don't really know what their life's about or what their purpose is. So what's the point of it, But so isn't that a big factor? You try and help your clients to really realize that they're here for a purpose, and once you discover that, then you get excited about your life, and then you realize you better take the best care of your physical body you possibly can, so you can stick around and enjoy and live your purpose.
Yeah. So there's three pillars. One is mind, one is mouth, and the other one is mission.
Oh,
And the
good.
mission is really, it's a mission for having a bigger vision, a bigger goal of what you want to create in life.
Hmm.
And it's also really looking at, it's your mission to make yourself healthy and happy.
Yeah.
And so often we're conditioned everything, especially as women, we're conditioned to be everything for everyone, and we don't prioritize ourselves. One of the things that I teach my clients, Rico, is to if you don't already do it, figure out a way you can put 15 minutes of you time, of time that's just dedicated to you first thing in the morning.
Hmm.
So often we wake up and we roll out of bed and we're like, oh, it's time to get up. I have
Yeah.
to get up. I should get up. And
Yeah.
we're not excited about our day. We're not excited about anything in our day.
Hmm.
And it is amazing when we intentionally put something in our morning that we look forward to,
Hmm.
it changes the entire day, the entire intention and trajectory of our day,
Yeah.
because we're living our life for us. We get a little bit of autonomy, and it's like, wow, this is so exciting. It's like a kid on Christmas morning when we have something to look forward to every single day.
Yeah, that's so good. I totally agree with that. And I would just add, and not only that, but also, set an intention for that your day is going to go really well, and be open to amazing things that you could discover or learn or meet, or just have that intention that this is going to be a great day, and that you're going to discover just new possibilities in your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I encourage people to think about is, what are you committed to creating today? I'm
That's
committed to
really good.
creating fun or creativity or new experiences or whatever that looks like. But to your point, it's about the intention that you put into your life, not just going through the motions and getting the things done.
Exactly right. That's so good. Okay, we're going to take a short 60-second break. I have a message for you, and when we come back, we'll come back with Jack Ben, and we'll talk more about a little bit more about some what the physical things that she teaches you, so you can permanently release all that excess body fat.
Now, in just 17 minutes, you can get and stay fit and look and feel your best for life. This will be a life-changing and life-saving experience for you. Yes, it's true. Scientific studies have shown the Fast Fit 17 system is the fastest way to achieve maximum results in the shortest amount of time. This is a true fitness breakthrough. This system was developed particularly for busy people over 40 who know they need and want to get into better shape and have more energy, but feel they don't have the time. Now, time is no longer an issue. We want everyone to take advantage of this fitness breakthrough. So, for a limited time, you can get the entire program for only $17. So don't miss out. Order now at fastfit17.com.
All right, we're back with Jen Beck, and we've been talking about some of the mental, emotional challenges people have with losing that excess body fat and getting healthy. So let's talk a little bit more now about some of the physical things that you work with your clients on.
Yeah, I think, we all know that we should eat more broccoli and chicken than brownies and cookies. That's
Right?
kind of common knowledge, right? And so we get to figure out why we're going after the brownies and cookies instead of the broccoli and chicken. But part of it is because we don't eat foods that are fulfilling. We go into it with a mindset of like, oh, I have to cut all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And the piece I really challenge people to do is to switch our thinking and go, what do I get to add in to crowd out the other stuff? How do I add in more vegetables, more nutrition, more protein, more nourishment? A, you'll feel more satisfied, and B, you're going to be satiated, and you're going to give your body more nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So a big piece of it is looking at how do you add in more nourishment each and every day. And so we want to focus on protein, veggies, and fat, but primarily for what your body needs. We're all different, right? I mean, Rico, you and I are, we're friends, but we don't look anything alike.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Our bodies are different, our needs are different. And so when we can personalize for our metabolic design and look at how much protein, how much fiber, how much fat do I need per day? And in those categories, which ones are the best ones for my body so that I'm thriving? And when we can do that, it allows us to be able to put it on autopilot. So we don't have to measure and weigh and scrutinize everything that goes in our mouth. It literally becomes common sense of like, this is my metabolic design. These are the foods that work for me. these, I'm going to eat these because they make me feel good and they work for my body. I'm not going to eat as many of these because they don't serve me as much. Doesn't mean you have to be a purist, but be intentional about what you're consuming.
Yeah.
And it's a baby step. It's one layer at a time versus overhauling everything in one day, because we can't sustain massive changes. Our brain doesn't like it very much. And then we miss all of the things that we cut out. So it's really focusing on laying that foundation of protein, veggies, and fat, protein, fiber, and fat, and then being intentional about what else we indulge in on the side.
And I think you'll agree with what you find too, as you begin to eat more real and whole foods and cut out some of the highly processed, fried fats and too much salt and sugar. You begin to lose your taste for those things, and you'll begin to enjoy the real flavors and taste of real whole foods.
Yeah,
I'm sure you find that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't take long. It takes a week for most people to just rehab their palate, where they go from eating a lot of processed foods to eating whole foods. It takes about a week for their palate to completely shift. And then we don't have the cravings anymore. We're satisfied, we're energetic, we feel good, and we've created a new habit in doing that. But it does take making the intentional choice of I'm going to fuel my body, not just fill my stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so good. Well, we've only got about 4 minutes left here, so talk just a little bit about your overall. Well, first of all, you also do virtual coaching, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll just talk about. Why don't you go ahead and talk about the gifts you have on your website and how they can connect with you, and just real briefly about who you like to work with, and a little bit more about your coaching programs. Yeah.
Sure, thanks. So most of the women I work with, and it's predominantly women, I've got a few brave men that fit in there too, but they're high achievers. They're like, I can do everything else in my life except for this one thing. And it's usually changing their lifestyle, releasing the fat, really optimizing how they feel every day. Mm-hmm. And so it's a matter of helping, of walking them through this transformation process, which starts with crafting their vision. And then we look at how do I optimize your health. And it really is about what you eat. It's about sleep. It's about hydration. It's about movement. I love your Fast Fit 17. What a brilliant, brilliant program where people get, they get done what they need to do, but it fits into a busy life. For high achievers, we want to get things done and we want to have our health at the same time. So things like that, the program that I teach, by creating baby step habits, allows us to create sustainable change that doesn't feel overwhelming. I'll give you an example. I had a client who came to me. She was in the middle of accounting season, doing taxes and everything else. And she's like, I know I just need to make changes, but I've been dieting for 23 years. Oh. And she goes, and I don't know that I've got one more diet in me. And I said, great, this isn't a diet. Yes. Yeah. And so we started working together, and it was just beautiful, Rico. She's a perfect example because 4 months in, she's released 47 pounds of extra fat. Wow. She looks at me and she goes, Jen, I can look back and I can see every one of the changes I've made, but I don't feel like I've made any. Yeah. She went on and over the course of 7 months released 87 pounds. Wow. She started training for a 10K. She started dating again. She got a makeover and she's just glowing because she feels amazing in her body. She's got the confidence of following through on every step that she wanted to take. And she's maintained it for almost 5 years now. That's so good. Baby steps, right? Yeah. And she feels amazing every single day because she's created the foundation. So the biggest piece I want people to understand is that it doesn't happen in one day. We didn't put weight on. We didn't destroy our health in one day. But you can absolutely take it back one day, one bite, one step, one sleep at a time. And that's what I help people do, is to figure out what their next best step is and implement success on top of success on top of success. That's so good. Creating lasting change. So well said. And the message is here, as you well stated. Her client did it. Her clients are doing it, and you can do it as well. So, absolutely no. And so we'll put your website, CompleteHealthRevolution.com. We'll put that information in the show description where people can contact you and get those free gifts you have.
And so we're just really already out of time here. So thanks so much for being here. That was really good. That was really right to the point, really clear. I really appreciate the work you're doing. And so if you enjoyed today's episode, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. And I'd like to always leave our audience with Einstein saying that knowledge without action is useless. So we always give you some good knowledge, some wisdom, some information, but you got to step up and take action. So it's like the Nike saying, you just got to do it. You can do it, right? Right, Jen?
Yep. One step at a time.
You just got to do it, one step at a time. It goes by so fast, doesn't it?
It does.
I know. I'm looking at the clock. I go, oh, shoot, I want to say this, and I'm going to get her to say this. Yeah. But that was good, though. You were really clear. We're right to the point. That was great. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
So we'll put that in there, and then let's see. Yeah, so I'll have this up. I can put this up on my YouTube channel right away. I can send you the link to that, and I'll also send you the recording. You have the video. You can use that. Hey, we got the same bottle here. Look at that. Oh wait.
Can't leave home without it.
Almost, yeah. So I'll send that to you, and then.
Oh, thank you.
Also, the company I work with, the E360 TV, they make a promo image with our pictures and the title, and all that. So I'll get that made, and then I'll send that to you so you can use the promotion. But also, so it's not necessarily important that we get this show right away, because you're not doing that May 22nd thing, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'll take a look. I'll let you know when we'll put your show up then.
Okay.
But maybe at the same time, and let's see what else. And so, yeah, so I'll let you know when your show is going to air. But like I say, you'll have the video too, and it'll be on my YouTube channel, so you can promote it anytime that you want. Yeah.
Sounds great. Thanks.
That sounds good. Yeah, it was so good. That was really good, Jen.
Good. It was great seeing you again.
Yeah,
Sorry it took so long to get it done.
Oh, everybody, it's just crazy these days, and there's so much stuff, so many things going on. And, this TV show's been great. I just keep on meeting some of the great people and getting some really great information out there. But it's a lot of work to keep every track of all the stuff. And, I still don't really I have a VA who does my main things like websites and all that, but I don't have anybody to book stuff and, to keep track of who I got to get back to. But it's a lot of fun though, so.
That's awesome. Did you do all of your own graphics and your video stuff? It's really good.
No, I didn't do them. No, I don't do that. Yeah.
All right. It's really good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, let's stay in touch as usual, and let's see. Maybe we can still do something together in the future or something. Let me know. I'll let you know too. Keep in touch. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay, Jen. Take care.
You too, Rico.
Thank you.